Party people, what's up? We are back with another episode of the Pull Up with the Wonders. My name is D. This is G. And we are continuing our talks about 2023 ZINCON and past ZINCONs. Yes?
That is right. So I don't know if you saw our first ZINCON episode that was last released, but we kind of talked about the journeys from the beginning all the way up to, through last year, different experiences of just all around ZINCON, right? And so last week, Dario had posted on Instagram to ask you guys if you had any specific questions for us. And I believe we have questions.
Do we?
Do we? I mean, that's the word on the streets.
We may have a few. But before I get to those questions, I want to ask you some questions.
Okay, ask me.
I'm ready to ask other people's questions. I want to hear some of your insight and some of your suggestions and opinions, and just some of your experience with some of the things as ZINCON. First, what do you think is the most important thing for people to do when they're at ZINCON, as far as taking care of yourself, of your body, of your health, of your mental health? It's a lot going on. If you don't stop, you won't. And sometimes that brings on effects that you may not be ready for, and that you don't want. So what do you feel, or what do you think are the best ways to go about being there for that week? How should you mentally prepare, physically prepare, and then when you're there, how should you operate throughout the day?
Well, mentally prepared, I mean, basically you're going to be so excited just to go, just to be there, especially if you've never been before. It's an experience that you don't want to miss as an instructor. It's something you'll never forget as an instructor. There's so much growth that you take back from convention. So I think mentally you just prepare to learn, prepare to grow, and prepare to party and not stop. But the one thing that you can try to do, is to eat. That's the number one thing. I think that's the number one thing that we don't do. We don't have time to do. We're always trying to shove little things in our mouth right at the very last minute. But make time for yourselves. Set your schedule so that you have little opportunities to eat here and there. You got to keep nourishing your bodies, because you are dancing so much, and so much energy is being, just you're excited, you're dancing, and you're not just dancing a little bit, you're going hard from your first session to your last session of the day. And then all of the in-between things, we have lots of different sessions and things and pop-up stages and things that are happening, aside from just your regular sessions, that you are wore out, but mentally you are so pumped up about being there that you forget to, feed yourself. I mean, that's the number one thing. Stay hydrated also. You got to stay hydrated, because again, you are just dancing your little heart out from sun up till sundown. And that is no lie, with partying on top of that at the end of the night. So you not only have you woken up very early and you have danced 500% all throughout the day, but then what happens at night, if there's not a party, there's a party, right? So if it's not an official party, there is a party somewhere, whether it's in the hallways, whether it's at the bar, whether it's in your room or your friend's room, it's nonstop. So I would try to say, get some sleep, but that's not realistic. So if you can't get a little bit of rest, at least try to feed your body. There have been times that we have not had a moment to eat, especially those times when I'm in the fitness concert and we have rehearsals and we have sound checks and so I felt like I was constantly running, and barely eating. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So based off of that, I already know that a lot of other people may feel the same. So if you just like tell yourself or force yourself, then that's my number one thing. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's important to pay attention to your body, and I think just in all the excitement of everything and just trying to be everywhere at the same time and visit this session, visit that session, visit the Zumba wear store, go here, go there, on top of all of the things that get thrown on top of the schedule last minute. And people expect you to be there and to do it, and you want to please everybody. You forget, like eating is probably the last thing. On top of it, not being really accessible to a lot of like healthy food and good food. Like hotel food is hotel food, and everybody's trying to order hotel food, so it usually takes a long time for that hotel food to get there, no matter if you're at the cafe or room service or whatever. And then it's a whole thing to get up and to get out and go down the street or wherever to a certain restaurant or whatever. So there's not a lot of like healthy food options, and just the food, I don't know, maybe that could be something that was better.
well, I think no, actually last year was way better than years past. Remember years past it would take like 45 minutes for breakfast to arrive, but breakfast came so quick. Remember?
Yeah.
It came really fast because it came from downstairs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
it wasn't the normal scenario with the food, the room service at least. I felt like that was way better because it was just faster.
It'd be dope if like food trucks would pull up.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Food trucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like doing something like out of the norm, and not really having to worry about like hotel food and going and getting dressed, and because it's a whole thing to actually get dressed and to go off the site and to walk up the street or take a Uber or take a taxi or whatever, or jump in your car, and it's a freaking job. It's not like an easy thing,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
It'd be dope if like some food trucks would pull up.
I wonder how
And
that
like
would be like permit wise. I mean, I'm sure they've thought about that before.
Maybe not. But that'd be dope. That'd be something new, like a food truck thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They should have food trucks
Outside.
from like all different parts of the world, since that's what Zumba is,
Yeah.
right? Instructors from all over the world. They could have food trucks from all
Yeah.
over the world.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Moral of the story is make sure
Eat.
you eat. Make sure you eat. If you can, sleep. You know what I'm saying? If you can kind of disconnect for a second, I think like a good 10-minute, 15-minute disconnect is good, because it just kind of recalibrates your mind, your mindset, your energy. You could be in your own thoughts, your own feelings. You can just kind of reflect on the day of what you learned so far, and then once you're done with that moment, you go back out there and you finish the day and you take on the day. But I think that's extremely important. Take 15 minutes to yourself, to call a loved one, to check in with your husband or your wife or your kids. Just 15 minutes, like without anybody around, in your room, or go take a walk down the street, or go find a corner in the convention center, and be to yourself for a second, because the disconnect is something that you need. That's my opinion. That's my suggestion.
That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's jump into some of the questions that we received via Instagram. G, what level of confidence is required for your session? Would you recommend those who can't break free to not take the session? I know it says all levels, but I figured that was a skill.
So, what level of confidence does the participant need in order to come to our sessions? Is that the question?
Yeah.
I mean, it is true. Like, all of our sessions are designed for anybody and everyone. Like, that is the purpose of ZINCON, right, is for us to provide the entire network with a session in which they can learn and grow from it, right? And so, what do you need? You don't need anything. You just need the courage and the confidence to step foot into the door, open your mind, and just be ready to learn. And maybe, if it's something that's out of your comfort zone, bust down those walls of those barriers and really, really explore new things and learn new things and push yourself into doing new things. And so if our session sounds like that something that's new for you, but you're not quite sure, how much confidence do you need? I don't know if confidence is it. It's maybe courage just to say, you know what? F it. I'm going to go for it no matter what, because we're not going to provide you with something that you can't do, right? That's our sessions are intended for the Zumba instructor to take back to apply them to their Zumba classes immediately. And so I feel like maybe just how you felt like your first Zumba class before you even started taking your first Zumba class, like just be ready to learn. Open your mind. Don't be afraid. Just come and dance with us, and you will be maybe even surprised at, how much you learn and how much you love it and how awesome that you did. I know a lot of people, especially with hip hop turn up, hip hop is not a lot of people's thing, but they'll come to our session and then after it's done, come up to us and say, wow, I never in a million years thought that I could do that because I'm not a hip hop dancer or I'm not a dancer. We hear it all. But after our session, they feel like badasses because we've walked them through the process, right? And we build it in such a way where anybody can enjoy it. So don't be scared. Just come dance with us. You don't need to be a dancer. You don't need to have any prereqs. You just need to come willing to learn.
Yeah.
I feel like as you learn, any session you go to, as you learn, you have to learn first. And then the more you know, the more comfortable you are with what you've just learned, then comes the confidence within that, if that makes sense. Right? But it's like not required because listen, if you had all the confidence, you can have confidence in yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to try this even though I have no idea about what it is, but I know that whatever I do, I'm going to do it my best. I'm going to be me. Yes, you should have that confidence with everything that you do. Right? But is it a requirement that you are comfortable or totally confident that you are going to crush it without knowing what it is?
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. You hit it right on the nail, though. Confidence to be me, confidence to be yourself. And that's it. When you have confidence to be yourself, sky's the limit. When you're trying to be somebody else, that's where shit goes wrong. And that's where you aren't authentic in your abilities because you're trying to be like somebody else. You're not being a unique individual. You're not standing out as something different or something else because you're just trying to be, like somebody else. Being confident in the fact that you're unique is extremely important. So I don't think it's about how much confidence do I need. Just be confident. There's no 10, 20, 30. There's no level to confidence. Confidence is confidence, right? So just be confident that you can do it and that you can deliver it the way you have to deliver it. We say all the time in our jam sessions or in our sessions, like, well, we're not here for y'all to dance like us.
Right.
I don't want no carbon copies of myself. I don't want to see any carbon copies of G. Because there's one G right here that I love to look at. And there's one me. Like, we don't want carbon copies of ourselves. We want to give you guys the tools and the blueprint to bust out of your shell and to be you.
Yep.
Take these grooves, take these moves, take this sexiness, take this swag, take this flow, right, that we give, and find ways for it to work for you
And for your students,
and
most
for your
importantly.
students.
Yeah.
Yes. So confidence is key. Being confident that you're unique is even more of a, as DJ Khaled would say, a major key. So yes. Another question: best advice on how to create your own choreo.
My best advice for me, it's finding a song that I really connect to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest way to choreograph. I have to be honest, when I get to do a Zin volume, that's probably the most difficult because we don't get to choose our own songs, right? And so you have to build this relationship with each of those songs that so you can really feel them, right?
Yeah.
But if you, let's say you just hear a song that you fall in love with, or that really makes you want to move, that's the easiest way to create or start creating, because you already feel it. You already feel some type of way about the song. It makes you feel good. It makes you want to dance. You might even have, moves in your head, but it starts with the song.
Right.
You having that connection with the song, that song really doing something for you. So that's
Right.
my number one advice. Whether I get a song for Zin that I don't know and I have to learn, I writing out the formula is so helpful, because if you break down the song into music parts, and I've learned this over the years, because I used to just listen to the song over and over and over and over again and like try to match up this part. Is it this the same as this part? Is that where it's going to repeat? So it would kind of be like a jumbled mess, right? But when I started breaking down the song first, so liking the song, then bringing it down into formula, you guys know what that is, right? Like verse, chorus, blah, 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 whatever. You can then see on paper, wow, this song that sounded so complicated in my brain, I'm writing it down, and really there's only 3 music parts to the song that repeat 3 times. I literally only have 3 sections to figure out. And for me, it seems like a lot easier of a task. So finding a song that you really love, and then breaking it down, breaking the formula down so that you can see on paper, so maybe it's not so overwhelming. And then as far as creating steps, always keeping the choreo simple, understanding your audience and who you're creating for, and then trying to, I don't know, if it's, let's say it's a popular song, like a TikTok song, right? So I just did this with a jam that we had. There was a TikTok song that we liked, and so we decided to use it. But when I went to look at the TikTok dance, it was way too hard for, a Zumba class.
Right.
And so I took like an element of it and kind of implemented it, and so that you feel like you're kind of doing it, but I totally Zumbified it, right? I get inspiration from that. I get inspiration from watching other dancers just dance, whether it's on Instagram or not really TikTok, but like Instagram, like seeing different things and like easy moves that catch my eye that I'll remember for future reference. But really keeping it simple and trying to keep it fresh. I mean, it's hard. When you have your 4 basic steps, right? And a million variations that go with those basic steps for each rhythm. It's just, sometimes I feel like, oh man, is my shit starting to look all the same? I definitely know that each person has their own style, but trying to not have everything look the same, like really digging deep and saying, okay, let's go out of this, or let's not use this move for this routine, just trying to challenge yourself. But the easiest way for me is good song, formula breakdown.
I think a good song, a song that just makes me dance, without even thinking. You know what I mean? Like, not trying to like put it on and be like, Nah, when I put it on, like I'm already catch a bug. I already catch something. It's either the hook or the verses or just something that I already start doing the dance step to.
Right.
I try to build off that because whatever it is catching my soul without me even like trying. Like it's just making me dance. So that's always a good sign because I feel like when you teach or dance to music that automatically catch you like that, then it's easy to deliver that because it's in you. You're connecting with the vibe of that song, with the lyrics, with the rhythm, whatever. You're connecting with something, and you should really tap into that connection because that connection is real. So I think first and foremost, finding a song that where I automatically just start dancing, and then once I do so or we do so. Like Gina said, finding ways to keep things authentic and fresh without it getting too overly complicated, because that's not our market. So we got to remember that we're teaching people to teach these songs when it comes to jams, or we're teaching these songs to students and we want the students to pick up on the moves, and it can't be too many moves and it can't be too complicated. So always finding ways to still have that sauce and still for it to just have that thing to it, you know what I'm saying, for it to be funky or to be sexy or to be something, without it being overly complicated as far as the moves and the choreography goes. I think those two or three things, it's like our formula whenever we choreograph together and when we choreograph individually. To answer your question, the most important thing is finding that song where you just dance. You just dance, you put it on, something catches your soul, and you go for it. And then when you start dancing, like when I'm like grooving to a song, if I'm like catch 3 or 4 grooves, then I'll work with whatever groove works best. Or if I can't figure it out, then I'll ask she out, hey, look at this. What do you think I should do? And then she'll simplify it, or she'll add to it, or she'll say, it should be this. And then we change it to that. But it always starts from something. That's how you get the creative juices flowing.
Let's talk about where choreography happens for us.
Most of the time, it used to happen in our bathroom. Is certain places in your house or certain places in general just put you in a creative space. So sometimes for us, like big rooms or big studios don't really do it.
Yeah, fun fact, we never choreograph in here.
Yeah, we never do because I don't know, sometimes you need smaller spaces to hold in that energy. Sometimes bigger spaces is just too much space, right? You need to be closer. You need to just be more in a confined space to really like connect, especially when you're vibing and you're creating with another partner or other partners. You know what I'm saying?
So it's bathroom, it's kitchen.
Yeah.
It's anywhere where we can find a reflection so that we can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's why bathroom comes, because there's like a mirror that you can see half of us.
Yeah. I've choreographed whole pieces back in the day, like in a bedroom, like in a small bedroom in front of a bed. You just draw the blinds and look at the reflection of yourself in the window, and whoever's looking through that window is watching magic.
Right.
Nah, but for real, it's for us, like confined spaces work the best for our creativity. Have you ever been nervous for a session? And if you have been, which session was it and why? Why were you nervous?
I think anything that I do that there's an expectation for it to be great, I get nervous. Like I get nervous, not to where I have stage fright or something like that, but just like, all right, let's freaking do this. Let's go out here. Let's kill this. Like, right. One thing that helps a lot is we pray before we get on the stage, and that really, honestly, like calms all those nerves down. And then understanding really like we're human, right? So we
Yeah.
go out there, we kick ass, we do the best we can, and then we keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned throughout the years not to let's just to go out there and do the best that I can. Not let nerves take over,
Right.
not let, oh, what if they don't like it? What if everybody hates it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course you think those things, but like that's beyond our control at that point. And so understand that we're there to do what we're there to do and that we prepared for it and just go out there and kick ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything that I do, there's usually some form of like nervousness, especially like fitness concert as well as like, don't F up because if you
Because
are
of
on the
what?
wrong side of stage at the wrong time, like something bad can happen. You can fall down a hole in the middle of the stage, or you can be in somebody else's spot and just mess up the entire, the entire thing.
The
Like
whole production.
during fitness concert, I would probably be most nervous like during that because there's just a lot going on. Just about, not about dancing wise, but like being exactly where I needed to be. There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, it always comes out and I'm always where I'm supposed to be, but it's
Right.
just like that little, don't F it up because it's going to be all bad if you do.
Right.
But I think that's just normal.
Well, that's good that you think like that, because that's not everybody.
Oh, no, you have to.
Yeah.
Well, because I also grew up
Yeah.
performing. So, yeah, no, you have to be where you're supposed to be.
That's
You have to be where
yeah,
you're supposed to be.
That's vital.
Yeah. So I think that would make me the most nervous. Sorry.
Yeah.
But sessions, no, not really.
Yeah, I've never been nervous for a session or anything when it comes to like presenting or performing.
You don't get nervous like before your shows and stuff?
Never.
Really?
I haven't been nervous before a show I was 16 the last time I was nervous for a show.
Oh, why do you think that is?
Confidence. Preparation.
Yeah.
So I would be nervous.
Be confident and prepared, but I feel like you don't have anything of like nerves of like, not even like what's in your control, but like beyond your control. Like that doesn't make you nervous, some form of nervous. Like what if the sound fucks up or the...
It's not nervous. It pisses me off.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's not nervous. It's what pisses me off is elements that messes up energy. Yeah, if the sound is whack, if the crowd is whack,
Yeah.
if the stage is wobbly, if people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, if the schedule is off, something happened and the schedule is off 30, 45 minutes or whatever, elements that mess up their energy throw me off, or they upset me. So it puts me into a space where frustration may come out, anger, just like overall disappointment. And a lot of the times you're the one that like calms me down and puts me back on an even keel, or like brings me back like, hey, we're here. Get this shit together and you right, okay. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never nervous, never nervous, because I think it's just the performer in me. Like I've taught myself how to prepare and how to practice and really connect with whatever it is, if I'm presenting or if I'm singing a song or singing a whole set, whatever it is, whatever stage I'm on. So nervousness has never been.
I think what you said was good too. I think what helps ease nervousness is preparation. Like if you know exactly what you're supposed to do and you've done it enough times to practice it, then you will have the confidence
Yeah.
to know that, okay, no matter what. But I feel like, yes, that is true. And I get
Yeah.
that too. But even with that, I guess I get nervous about situationships, like, and I guess you can't control that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm nervous, if I don't know what I'm doing, then I'm not gonna do it.
No. It's
won't.
not about not knowing what you're doing. I think it's
No,
just
I'm
about,
saying like if I'm not prepared,
yeah.
then I'm not gonna do it. I will back out, and I'm not quitting or backing out of anything. So I best to get my ass prepared.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. That's what it is. Like I said, energy around me and things that are out of my control that fuck everything up irritates me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And you don't want to see him irritated.
Nah, man. Let's move on. All right, this question is for me. What history do you and Tommy have? I know you've co-jammed and he danced with G on the last cruise to some J-Lo song.
Kate on the last
and
cruise?
In the last Zin.
Did she say that or she just said the cruise?
I'm going to add that in the last Zin.
I love it.
Just simply wondering to see how this duo all came about.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I think when we first taught Hip Hop Turn Up in London years and years ago, there was a kid dancing in the audience that just had all of this vibe. He was connecting directly with the vibe that we were bringing. And it's just this energy. We were doing all old school stuff, pretty much old school moves, really, really taking it back and building it from the ground up. And we started with a lot of old school moves and music and vibes and just really wanting to bring it from the foundation when it came to this hip hop being new, or our brand of hip hop being new in the Zumba world. There's this kid dancing out to the right of us, about in the middle of the room, just eating everything up, and that kid was Tommy.
Just shining.
Yeah, just shining and smiling and had the was in the pocket and had the moves and the groove, and everything was like, that dude is dope. Like, he's dope. And we met him a handful of times after that, and he was very just a soft spoken and very sweet and just a kind soul. And as we begin to know a little bit more about him and see that he is a professional dancer in Germany, he was part of a hip hop dance school, and was used to doing performances similar to the backgrounds of both me and G. It just started to make more sense. Like, oh, no wonder this
Right.
dude is like, he's a seasoned dancer, and like, no wonder he like was really connecting with this hip hop stuff, because he like is doing all of these hip hop routines and stuff that we would see. I can't even. Maybe it was YouTube, maybe it was Facebook. I don't know. It was back before Instagram. So we just started connecting with him that way and really appreciating his talent and knowing that he has something special before we even worked with him. And of course, him being in Germany, us being in the U.S., we didn't get to see him a lot or connect with him or dance with him that much, because we live in, he was in Europe, we're in the States, so we will only see him if we did an event in Germany,
yeah.
or somewhere near Germany where Tommy was traveling to. And so, like I said, it just was always love. It was always an admiration. And I think the first thing we did was a video when we were in Nice at the Zumba vacation.
Oh yeah.
He was there, and we did a it wasn't even a reel, it was an Instagram video. And we collabed on a like a hip hop dance number for IG. And it, it's just always like a good vibe and connection, and just knowing the style of music that he likes a lot of 90s R&B and hip hop, and is always just connecting with us musically, and a fan of my music as well. Like always playing songs like those B cuts on my albums that I didn't think anybody knew of, but Tommy knew of them, and the words and everything. And
he is like an old soul. Tommy's an old soul, especially musically. Like that is one thing that you guys have connected with, especially because like he said, he likes the same type of music. And so talk about this session and how the idea of this session came about. I feel like it's because of both of your connections with R&B.
For sure. I mean, of course, working more with him being a get down jammer, and us being, teammates in the get down. We've been able to, of course, co-jam and connect and really develop a culture musically, or help develop a culture musically within that program. And a lot of the times R&B music is at the forefront of those talks and those creative talks, because we just love the vibe of it so much. I'm an R&B artist, for those who don't know. So I've been making, not even dancing to R&B music, but making R&B music for damn near 20 years. So it's a part of my heart. It's a part of my soul. It is one of the main reasons why I stay creative, because that is where my creative spirit comes from, is from R&B music. And so, to be honest, Tommy asked me to collaborate with him. This is something that he, this is his baby, and he approached me about doing something in the R&B lane for a convention. And if I was I gonna say no? No, that sounds cool, that sounds hot, but I'm gonna pass. Nah, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take those opportunities and really and build from them. So that's how they came to be. And it's an easy fit, because he has an admiration, I have an admiration. He has an expertise, I have an expertise. He has a background with it, and I have a background with it. And so I feel like whatever we come up with is gonna be special,
and it'll be authentic,
and it'll be
smooth and swaggy.
Hot. Yeah, it'll be all of those things.
So come and take it.
Because that's what the music is. That's what the music is. We're not trying to, do something that's not there.
So you guys are going to be making love routines?
I don't know. R&B is so vast, man. There's so many different lanes you could go with it. Let's just talk about male R&B artists, solo artists, right? Not even talking about the groups. You can, how far back are we going? We're going 80s, or we going 90s, or we 2000s, or we talking about the new school cats. For me personally, the new school cats, there's not a lot of cats that really do it for me when it comes to just sonics and just the in R&B, right? There's some folks out right now that have that vibe. Lucky Day, I like him a lot. Vito, I like him a lot. Ty Dolla $ign, I like him a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about like us really representing that rhythm the right way, I feel like we tap in with either the 80s or the 90s, because that's the golden era of R&B music. That's where these cats today get their shit from, is from the melodies of the 80s, the songs of the 80s and 90s, the melodies of the 90s, right? So I feel like we have to go in that lane, and then you talk about, okay, well, where do we start? Well, we know who we can't use. We know who we can't use.
Damn.
Y'all know who we can't use. You can't talk about R&B music and not talk about the...
I don't see nothing wrong.
Okay,
that
so...
one?
All right.
Damn.
So we know who we can't use. So then, okay, it's like you got Usher. You have Genuine. You have... And then, side note, you got to remember when Genuine was a bigger superstar than Usher. in R&B. Like there was a time when Genuine was the man, and Usher was just like Usher was cool, but Genuine was really the man, right? And he had the hits, and the Pony and So Anxious and all of that. Do we are we talking about Joe? Do we go melodic like Brian McKnight? You know what I'm saying? We get a little bit more new school like Neo. It's so like, where do you go in that? There's so many different.
That's why it's gonna be so awesome, because you guys have to narrow it down to 3 songs.
Hard.
But I mean, you can literally go
Tyrese, Tank.
Old
you feel
school,
me? Or do we
school.
go Neo Soul with it? Do we go D'Angelo? Do we go Music Soul Child?
So, and this is where it gets tricky, guys, when you are trying to create a session for ZINCON,
Right.
because it's worldwide, right? So it's got to be something that resonates to everybody. So that's the hard part, is because sometimes we'll find a dope song and we'll really want to choreograph to it. But then we're like, is it really going to feed the souls of the Zen members to take back to their classes? Because it might be too deep into it, where their students, it wouldn't just, there's other songs out there that would move their students better.
Sure. But then
that's the hard part.
But then you teeter-tot on that, right. Like you don't want to be cliche. Like, okay, we can do R&B. We can just be easy with it and pick a Michael Jackson R&B. When Michael Jackson was like a less popular Michael Jackson record, and know that everybody will know that record, because who doesn't know Michael Jackson? Right. Or when it comes to the females, we can just go ahead and pick a Beyonce record, because everybody knows Beyonce. But then it's like we're being safe.
Yeah.
What about Mary J. Blige? What about Faith? What about Ashanti? What about Keisha Cole? What about the list goes on and on and on and on, right?
But that's the hard part.
That's the hard part. It's like, okay, we really want to tap in with the authenticity of the genre, but then we also got to make sure that it's the likability from the Zen members, that they're going to actually teach this in their class.
So, example, like Mary J. I personally like every single Mary J. song.
Right.
But like one that really moves all the people in every Zumba class that we've taught it in is Just Fine.
Oh, yeah.
So if you find a song from that artist, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's a happy song. That's that's a merry song, but it's like one that moves people.
Of course, message songs.
And good message song, right? So it's like you got to find, it's not easy. So and probably all of the presenters that go through this, like we're trying to find the perfect material for the world to bring back to their classes in different countries that they live in. Yeah, so, but I'm excited about your guys' session. I think it's going to be so fly.
I think it's going to be fly. And
I feel like people are going to really shock themselves, right? Like when they leave, like, dang. Like,
I hope they do.
I feel so cool.
I hope they do. There's another question. And you can answer it. How come there is no urban turn up? Too much with the new sessions?
Oh, urban turn up,
our master class that we usually have, or that we've had the last 4 or 5 years, maybe even more, with Heidi and Armando.
Yeah, I know. We're sad that we're not going to be doing that class this year.
Yeah. So we used to do a master class, a mashup master class with Heidi and Armando. We would take hip hop turn up and then tropical urban, right? Tropical urban is Heidi and Armando's session. So you got, please don't kill me if I'm wrong, Heidi and Armando. You have Caribbean rhythms, or was
you
it
have
more,
tropical rhythms?
Or was it more? Yeah, you have tropical rhythms. I'm sorry, tropical rhythms. A lot of
because
like
then they
soca.
had Caribbean heat.
Yeah, they had Caribbean. So we had a lot of like soca. There's a lot of Michelle Montano, a lot of soca and dembow and stuff like that, right? And then we had, of course, hip hop stuff, and we would just have this mashup masterclass that always had a great energy. Not only musically, but it just was a good opportunity for us to collaborate together as counterparts as well. And this year, we're not doing that class. And I think it's just, it was just.
Well,
trying to,
a lot of sessions aren't coming back this year.
I think they just wanted to make room for
a couple new sessions,
fresh new
and
stuff.
Yeah, I know that you have your session with Tommy, and then I also have one with the girls as well. So I think that was like we were maxed out at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as far as what we were doing and our
new things,
like our access or our availability was pretty much gone after that. On top of us having to do a get down mega jam. So yeah, I think just too much on the scheduling this year.
But if you guys want to host us for an urban turn up masterclass, just give me a call.
Call G.
Call me.
Yeah. You have her number?
Probably in a training that we post.
It'll come at the bottom of the screen right now.
No, it won't.
I think we have a few more questions. Hit
me.
What's the verdict? Is Amari coming?
Oh, shit. There's no verdict yet because there's no verdict yet. Is there a verdict?
There's no verdict. There's no verdict yet, guys. We don't know. That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We haven't
even discussed it since, as a matter of fact. Literally have not.
We haven't.
We'll know when
we were trying to figure out where we're going for spring break, so it's fine. It's fine.
So stay tuned on our next session for the verdict.
There's not going to be any more talks after this, okay?
Kidding.
Gina keeps trying to keep this thing going and going and going and going. There's not a lot more to talk about.
Well, Malia just said before we started that she wanted to pop on here and give her convention experience, which actually, from a child's point of view, would be pretty hilarious. But
yeah, those girls used to run it up.
They just used to. Wow, they loved it. They went for a solid. Yeah, it was like their highlight of the summer. They went for a solid
6 years straight, 6 or 7 years straight,
or more,
maybe more.
Yeah, but
they bring their friends, and then by the end of the convention, them and their friends were draped in Zumba wear and dancing on stage and
dancing on everybody's stage,
boys around, and
oh my gosh,
they love the twins.
Wait.
The twins.
So I just have to tell you a funny story about. I think did they see the twins at convention or at the cruise? The twins were young too, so
convention.
Like they met the twins. This is when the twins were when they did the fitness concert, right? Mm-hmm. So the boys were young and the girls were like drooling, right? Like oh my god. So Malia just told me, I was like, well, Malia, what can you possibly dish about convention? She's like, well, how about, and mind you, she's going to be 21 in a few weeks. She's like, well, how about the fact that we were totally in love with the Zumba twins and they followed us on Instagram and then like Hollywooded us, and unfollowed us. She said they Hollywooded them. I was dead. So boys, why'd you unfollow our girls like that, huh? Twins? I was like, well, Malia, maybe they just, I don't know. They got girlfriends now.
No, and they probably didn't even see their feeds. The algorithm fucked everything up, and they're like, I'm trying to like not follow so many people. I don't even see these people's stories or posts
or whatever.
That's what it was, right, fellas?
Whatever it was, you been caught. But it's fine. She's definitely over it by now.
Yes, they are.
That was a fun fact.
They used to always be sprung off somebody.
Mattia.
Pablo.
Oh, we're dishing it. Alberto. We are dishing the tea of the kids because we know they're never going to watch this. Yep. So we can just continue to dish.
It was every summer it was a new crush.
A new crush. Well, no, for that week that they were there, but they also have.
It was for the ZINCON week.
They also have some like backstage. They were in a few different fitness concerts, and they have some stories that they can tell from the eyes of a child.
Oh man.
Backstage shenanigans, or just the whole rehearsals or whatnot.
Yeah.
It might be that might be an
That'd be
interesting
pretty interesting. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do that because Malia doesn't have a filter, so we might have to skip out on that.
Before we get off of this, before we sign off, what has been your most memorable moment at any convention?
I really, I'm the worst at, first of all, remembering anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes, I know.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, because I don't want to. There's been so many. Like, every year has brought something different.
Well.
And I can't even tell you, like, my most favorite year. Or my most favorite moment.
Right. My most favorite moment is when Omari did the opening.
See that also?
The opening with us.
He was 2. He was 1
18?
or 2.
2018 and 2019.
And he hit him with the whoa.
Yeah, he hit him with the whoa. Omari hit him with the whoa. And he shocked the world.
He shocked us.
He shocked us because he was not having it at rehearsal.
Not at all.
He was not having it at rehearsal. Rehearsal was like the day before, like at 5 or 6. He'd been up and, middle of the day is good. So we're like, oh, bro, this dude in the morning, call time is what? 7:30?
And we're on East Coast?
7:30 with a 2-year-old? Are you? Yeah, and we're on East Coast, so it was really 4:30 for us.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, what? Y'all wanted him to do it. We'll see what he does. But I'm telling you right now, he may not do. He may start crying. He may not. He may look at everybody and just freeze up. But we don't know what he's gonna do because I know that dress rehearsal was a no-go.
For sure.
But the boy got on there and got on stage and shocked us all and started dancing and getting in his little bag and was
hitting that. He was hitting that junk.
And he seen it people and he was like, oh shit.
He got juice.
People was screaming and yelling and he got juice for a minute.
He got into it. He got into it.
But he didn't get like crazy. He got like cool. He was like.
I really want that video, like the video from Zumba.
Yeah. So that was my favorite moment ever because I was like on the stage with Omari. Everybody's going crazy, cheering for him, and he's soaking it up and actually giving that energy back. He's not just standing there like, Mom, hold me, or Dad, hold me. Like, no, this dude is like, we could have walked off and he would have been there still.
But he was so little.
And I thought that was special. I was like, wow, we got something.
Yeah. That was, of course. Yeah,
for sure. So good luck to everybody. All of y'all who are, traveling to Orlando this summer for a convention. We wish you luck. We hope you have a good time. We hope that you expand and you learn and you grow and you're willing to learn new things and to be challenged a little bit and to meet new people, to network. Hopefully you take each and every single routine you learn in your sessions back to your classes and share it with your students, because that is the overall goal and overall objective of all of the sessions. So we hope that you have a good time. Make sure you eat. Make sure you take your time for yourself. Make sure you reset. Try to stay as level-minded as possible and have a good time.
And guys, if you're going for the first time and you are going by yourself, I promise you the second you get there, even in the lobby, you won't be alone. Like, our community and our Zumba family is always welcoming with open arms, and it's like a huge family reunion. So you are in good hands. You will meet somebody immediately, and you'll probably hang out with them the rest of the time.
For sure.
And one tip that I have for you, besides have fun, is if you plan on shopping, hit the store as soon as possible, because I think the store, I don't know when it opens, but it opens, either a Wednesday or Thursday, right? But come Friday or Saturday, and you've been eyeballing that outfit, and you're like, I'll just wait. It's until Sunday. Forget about it. They're not going to have your size on Sunday nor Saturday. So you better hit that store on Thursday or whenever the earliest possibility, because otherwise you're going to be screwed. Trust me. I went last year late. We came in after opening, and already the outfit that I wanted was gone.
Gone for
Gone.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for those purple pants.
Y'all go visit our girl Mel in the Zumba Wear shop and the whole Zumba Wear team.
Yes,
they be there doing their thing and putting in a lot of work and, making all the Zen members happy. So y'all go visit them and share a hug or a smile or just say hi, introduce yourself, buy some clothes. Like Gina said, it's a big, happy Zumba family. But in all families, sometimes there's drama, so make sure you stay away from the drama.
Ain't gonna be no drama.
Stay away from the drama. Don't get caught in no dramas. Stay around level-minded people that bring the good vibes, the good energy, people that uplift, people that help motivate and inspire you. Stay around those circles. And don't worry about the other. That's my last 2 cents.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
We will see you guys at ZINCON 2023. If you haven't done so, 2023. If you haven't done so, please, please, please sign up. You will not regret it. And also, don't expect all those codes to be coming out like they were last year, because they ain't coming. All right. I know that for a fact. So you guys sign up now before the session that you really want to take is full.
They ain't got no codes this year.
I got no codes coming, because I know there was like a code every other week last week.
Can I get that year. G1 to 1 2 3 4?
G1 to 1 2 3 4 2022. So sign up. We'll see you guys in August. I almost forgot the date. We'll see you in August at ZINCON. Peace.